Welcome to RATMA TV. Yes. How professional is that? Come on, LJ. Out of 10. What was I thought that was pretty good, don't you, Kieren? I think we did all right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, well, it did the job, and it will do. As soon as I clip that, that's going to be fine. I shouldn't have mentioned that. So welcome everybody, and welcome to Kieren Firth-Bernard, who is a contender this year in the RATMA Film Festival. We've got him back to talk about his himself and his new project, and nothing about the RATMA Film Festival probably. Let's go. Right, so Kieren, last time we spoke to you, we talked about your idea for a mini-series prequel to the Thomas the Tank Engine books. So what's happening with that, or what's happened to that, and fill us in. What's going on?
Well, it was going good, but then the reality kicked into my mind, and it told me that in hindsight, doing all of the episodes with basically just me on my own, and I have to build all of the characters on various angles, you know, from the left side, the middle, the right side, and everything else for each character. It's just going to take a lot of time. So
we've talked about the time on it takes to animate on this show before. It's an amazing job, isn't it? I mean, it just goes on forever and ever.
Yeah,
like doing it on your own.
So I just said to myself, I'll just write the story for the final episode and then just shelf the project whenever I get more time to do a bit more work on that project, because that's kind of a bit of an issue with me, especially during college, where I try to think of ideas for a brief, is that the ideas I do come up with, they do tend to be a bit ambitious for the little time that I have to finish the project. But I suppose it does demonstrate my ambition to make something.
Yeah. I was going to say, think big. Don't miniaturize your ambitions. I've always said that to most people I meet. I just say, you know, you think big, and then whatever comes out of it, it's not going to be tiny, is it? And I think you've got your whole life ahead of you. You're going to be shelving lots of projects during your life, no doubt, as things sort of get in the way. But hopefully the ones that make it out into the wide world will be big ones. So no, keep going. That's what we've always said. Don't just shelve it. Don't destroy it. So what are you working on now then? What's your next idea? What's your next ambition?
I'm currently working on a smaller project. There still needs a bit more work on, but I did manage to write the actual story for the short film. I just need to get my head around on the script and a few other things.
Yeah.
But like I mentioned in the forum, this particular idea is based on another beloved British children's literature. And it's also my way to commemorate its anniversary this year. Although the film will probably be made within the rest of December, but I will still probably mention that it's my way to contribute for the said source. And that is a short film based on the Mr. Men characters.
Oh, brilliant. Excellent. I love this. Roger Hargreaves. Fantastic. Is that something that you've been keen on your whole life? Have you been sort of brought up on the Mr. Men books?
Oh yeah, I do remember reading the Mr. Men books, and also the cartoons themselves from the 70s and 80s, and also the 90s show as well.
Mm-hmm.
And but the idea came to me where I remember a few years ago during my childhood, I remember I made my own Mr. Man character from this this online generator. It was an official one. And I remember I came up with a character called Mr. Copycat, who likes to mimic other people's speeches and actions whenever he comes across people. And I do remember how he looked like. I gave him a blue triangular body, and I also gave him an umbrella because that's his go-to prop to mimic people's actions, whether it's a walking stick or a golf club. You know, there are many uses of using the
good
umbrella. And I guess it came too late with thinking of an idea to actually give this character his own film. You know, because this year was the 50th anniversary of the Mr. Men books. So yeah, it just came a little too late with the idea, but I suppose a year too late wouldn't be too big of a deal.
It sounds great. Did you base it on anyone you know, Mr. Copycat? Because I'm like that.
I wouldn't say
like
so,
myself,
but it did make me think of the other characters, and I thought to myself, whom in terms of personalities haven't we got already? Yeah. And then it came to me, well, what about someone who likes to copy other people?
That's a brilliant idea.
And so Mr. Copycat was born.
I love that idea. I mean, I'm a bit of a copycat myself. When I talk to people, I mimic their accents quite often. If I get, you know, if I'm like, I've said this before, if I'm in France or whatever, I'll start speaking French until I run out of words, and then I'll speak English in a French accent. It's just the way that you sort of you start talking to them.
It's funny you should say that, because the story I gave to Mr. Copycat is that he goes to Paris just as a little getaway from always copying other people where he's from. He decided to go somewhere else, and he goes to Paris. Wow. I won't reveal what happens next, but
no spoilers.
Yeah, but it's funny you brought up Paris, because that's the location for.
And is it going to be a 10-minute film or less, Kieren? Are we going to see it in our festival next year?
Hopefully. And I'm hoping to give it the same style to the original 70s cartoons, because what I'm hoping to do is to find somebody who can do a very good Arthur Lowe impression for the narration.
Very good. Looking for the next Arthur Lowe. He's a hard act to follow, I think. Mind you, they had who was it in the Dad's Army film? Played Arthur Lowe. He was quite a good Arthur Lowe. Played Mr. Mandarin. Can't remember his name now. While I'm doing that, LJ will look it up. Mr. Mandarin, Dad's Army. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Get someone sort of to copycat Mr. Mandarin. That's a brilliant idea. Yeah. Arthur Lowe was a very rich voice, though, wasn't he? It's a very distinctive voice. So yeah, that's a good one. So you know, that's you reckon you'll get started on that on your own, or will you be collaborating?
Well, I do need a collaborator to do the narration. Like I said, I'm hoping to find someone who could do a really good Arthur Lowe impression, just to add in more to the
authenticity sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I like that. You don't. Yeah, if you're gonna copycat it properly.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's him. That is Arthur Lowe. But who played him in the recent Dad's Army film? I think it was someone. I can't remember who it was now. I've got him in my head, but I can't remember his name.
Toby Jones.
Do what?
Toby Jones.
Toby Jones. That's right. Yeah. He was quite a reasonable mimic. But yeah, that's a great project, and we should have that. We should have that on full view then next October in RATMA. Brilliant. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. Once, hopefully, when that film does get finished, I'll probably submit it for.
Ooh. Did you go funny there, or did I go funny?
No, I heard so.
Did you? You went a bit Max Headroom there on me for a second. Anyway, that's just the internet. We'll slice that out. I'm gonna be editing this all day, aren't I?
Yep.
But anyway, that aside, that sounds like a great idea. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. What I would like to see also is this prequel to Thomas Tank Engine. So don't let it go. I both of those series I enjoyed as a kid, and I like to relive these things. So what about what we were saying before about your what's your Desert Island DVD? Have you had a chance to think about this? If you were to take a film to a desert island and it was the only film you were ever going to watch ever again, what would it be?
For the rest of my life.
Yeah, well, however long that would be. Yeah, you're on a desert island. Depends how
Well,
good you are.
I did have a good long thing, and it wasn't easy. But I would probably choose either The Lion King, the original, not a remake, or Toy Story.
Good call. Yeah, do you know what? I have actually watched Toy Story a few times, and it doesn't get boring. You see different things every time. And The Lion King's got a good sort of desert island vibe about it, don't you think? Because he's like exiled for a long time, and you sort of, it would give you that hope of reunion with on the horizon. I quite like that as well. That's a good. They're great choices. I mean, I don't know which one I'd go for. Probably The Lion King, for the simple reason it also provides a good sing along.
Yes.
And a life message of Kuna Matata. You just what. It is what it is, and no worries. Well,
I guess that's the irony. They say, it means no worries, but you're on a desert island on your own. So.
Yeah, but you've got no deadlines, have you? The most worries in my life seem to be deadlines.
The struggles of surviving are still there.
Yeah, it depends how much you like fishing, I suppose, and obviously hunting for vegetables. What would you do first if you were on a desert island, though? What would be your first thing? You land on the desert island. First thing you got to do, obviously, is get enough electricity to power your DVD player and TV. But apart from that, you've got, I think, shelter, don't you?
Yeah, shelter is very important to keep you safe from harm and the hazardous weathers, whatever they'll be on the said desert island.
Yeah, and I think just trying to find the DVD player out of all the wreckage. You see these
draw a big SOS on the beach.
Out of what?
Your feet.
Stones, maybe. Just spell out the 3 letters. Yeah. Stones, just pile them on.
Yeah. I have often dreamed about being on a desert island, but it's never a bad thing. I always, it's usually a holiday. It's just, I just think, one day I just hope I can be on the desert island for I don't know, I'm not greedy, 10, 15 years, something like that. But yeah, there we go. And the last film you fell asleep to, Kieren, don't tell me you've never fallen asleep to a film.
No, I think you've asked me this question before, but that never really happened, really.
Never fallen asleep during a film? God, you don't.
No, probably will happen when I'm a little bit older, maybe. But
all right, there we go. It's happened, right? I can't have the old fart on this show today, aren't I? I've got you two. Come on, LJ, you never fallen asleep in a film?
No.
Never.
Jeepers.
Wow, I can't even imagine that.
I don't go watch movies that are gonna make me fall asleep.
I know, but don't you ever watch them when you're tired and just falling asleep? Right. No. I don't know if I've ever mentioned a friend of mine fell asleep during the Titanic while it was on Sky TV, and it was playing on Sky Movies, and he fell asleep during the room scene where he's doing his painting, his drawing, and and he didn't realize he'd fallen asleep, but really he just woke up again, and he was in exactly the same scene, but it was on the next playing of it. So he'd actually slept through the entire length of the film and woke up in exactly the same place he fell asleep at. And it was really disorienting because he realized his eyes were shut for a moment. And when he opened them up, obviously he thought, oh, I thought I'd just seen that bit. And he realized it was 4 o'clock in the morning. He slept through an entire, it might have been 2 runs of it. I don't know. But so it was exactly the same scene, very disorienting. But yeah, these things happen. I fall asleep during films all the time, but that's because I sort of Netflix and just chillax. I'm gone as soon as if it's the wrong time of day, I've had it. But that's like you say, Kieren, it's getting old, isn't it? That's thanks for having that in. I'm feeling my age now.
Well, that, and also the film is crap. Maybe that's the other alternative.
Yeah, of course. There's being married as well. I have to compromise on the films I watch.
And you got kids.
Yeah, but none of them watch films with me anymore. We've grown. I didn't ever fall asleep during a kids' film. Oh yeah, I did, The Grinch. Yeah, I told you that in the cinema. The rubbish one, the one they made after Jim Carrey, and it was pointless making it because Jim Carrey defined The Grinch. So it was I think it was a cartoon version. And do you know what? I fell asleep so bad. I don't even remember. Was it a cartoon version? I think it probably was in the cinema. Not so long. It was after. It was about. Can't have been more than 5 or 6 years ago. I don't think.
Oh, was that the one with Cumberbatch?
Probably. Yeah, because I wouldn't have gone if I didn't think it would be good. The Cumberbatch doesn't do rubbish, does he? Benedict Cumberbatch. He's no, he doesn't do rubbish, but obviously rubbish enough for me and a few other people to fall asleep. I wasn't the only one, but I was the one snoring loudest, much to the bemusement of my family. But there you go. And so there you have it. So have you got anything else in the pipeline, Kieren? Are you when you say about Thomas being a lone a nightmare doing it on your own, do you have go-to people that you would want to get working with on that?
Yes, I do have a friend who is quite a major Thomas fan, and he did help me with the more researchy aspect of developing this project, and he was kind enough to actually draw me some concept art for the characters in the series. Well, in fact, they were mostly his characters. They're not necessarily mine, but those were the characters he made for the series, and we both, discussed, what roles they could play, and he was quite supportive with the project. Well, we both support each other really, because we've been friends since college, and we both attended same uni together. But he did a different course. He did illustration while I did animation. But an illustrator and an animator, coming together, that's like a marriage made in heaven, really, in terms of creativity.
No,
we have the brain here, but we have the concept artist, so we kind of go together, really.
No, that's good. Is he so he's an animator as well? Was he in that, or is he just artwork?
He did do a little bit of animation at college, but his ambition is more becoming an illustrator.
Right. Storyboarder or something. That'd be good for that sort of talent, wouldn't it? I like the idea of being a storyboarder. Just go around studios with your great big portfolio case and saying, this is what I want you to make. So you don't have to do the hard work, just the concept. That's me. Gareth knows that about me as well. And I'm the ideas man, and he puts everything into play. So I sort of just say, oh, Gareth, I know what's going to be a great idea. And he'll go, oh no, what have I got to do now? It's concept. The concept is everything as far as I'm concerned.
That reminds me of a project at uni, and this was during my foundation course, that I couldn't really do the project because we didn't have a lot of time for this particular project. I don't know what happened exactly, but I think we somehow lost 2 weeks of progress or something like that. So the only thing that I have with this particular project is just storyboards that I made, which is unfortunate because I would really like to actually make this, but I think I probably will, sometime in the future.
Is that another one in your shelf storeroom? Is it where you've?
In a way, yeah, because I don't like to throw away good ideas. That's the kind of person I am, and it's actually it's a bit of a sequel to The Owl and the Pussycat, where you kind of get to see what their marriage life would be like, because that was actually a question somebody in my class said when I brought up the poem. The person said, what would the relationship between an owl and a cat would be like? And I decided to take that chance to make a film about that.
That's really interesting. I've always thought, what would their kids look like? I mean, they'd be freaky animals, wouldn't they? They'd be like cats that could spin their heads around. They'd be the worst pet to have, wouldn't they? A cat that could look at you from every direction, just turn around. It'd be quite freaky, wouldn't it? That'd be things nightmares are made of. But that's interesting.
Oh, there's nothing like that involved, but
no, they got no
it did
kids.
make me think of. It did make me think of what similarities and differences these two animals have, and it's supposed to be set like a montage film in a way, where it cuts to different scenarios during their marriage life. And I do remember two in particular, where on one side you have the cat cleaning herself, and then next to her you have the owl cleaning himself in a bird bath.
Nice.
And immediately in the next scene, the two of them go out for ice cream. But then at the end of that scene, you get a close-up of their ice creams, and it turns out there were just mice on a cone. Mice cream.
Mice cream. I like that. Do you know, this concept that could run and run. Kieren, you've got to make that, mate. Don't let that one go. I think
that's kind of who I am. I like to create these quirky.
I think they should have kids though.
Out of the box ideas.
What would you like? All right then. Worst possible scenario: cat with an owl's head or an owl with a cat's head?
An owl with a cat.
Why?
Don't know. I just can't deal with that.
It'd be a flying cat for a start, wouldn't it? Yeah. I mean, my cats are bad enough without flying. I mean, how would they be with flying? I mean, they'd be a nightmare for any other birds around, wouldn't they? Because at least the birds can escape by flying. What do you get if you get a cat that can fly? I mean, that's the end for birds, isn't it? Really, it's an interesting marriage. I mean, they are nemesis after nemesis. After all, they are nemesis of each other. A cat and a bird and a cat. Kieren, you've just sparked my imagination, and I like that. You've got to make that. You have got to make that, mate. And in fact, I think that might be the next. That might be the next Aardman thing. Go and pitch it to Aardman. Get them to do it out of plasticine. It's got to. I've got to see that. Whatever happens, I've got to see it. Oh dear, I love it. But that's how a lot of good ideas happen, isn't it? The what if. A lot of authors say that when they come about, how did you come up with that book? And they say, well, I just thought, what if, because this happens, what if that happens? You know, and it's a great creative vein, isn't it? Sometimes when you let your imagination think, yeah, what if the owl and the pussycat and their messy divorce. That's what I want. Because it would be messy, wouldn't it? Be a lot of blood.
Beyond the Pussycat needs marriage counselling.
Oh, come on, you've done it again. I could sit on that session. Wouldn't you be a fly on the wall? Probably not a fly, because you'd be prey. But no, that would be quite good. Who would be the psychiatrist though? Who's going to be the neutral from a cat and an owl? That's my next question.
That'll be something I have to look up for.
Yeah.
What kind of animal would be a
good shrink?
The neutral side of
a rat. Because a rat, they kind of hate both. They're both a rat and a cat and an owl.
A cat goes for a rat.
So does an owl. So it'd be quite a good little, there'd be a bit of a tension in the room, wouldn't there? Got to have a bit of tension for a good film. Oh, Kieren, this has got to run and run. I hope people should comment with their suggestions for the psychiatrist.
Put down in the comments who should be the psychiatrist for the.
Would it be the pig
again?
Pussycats? I mean, the pig was the vicar, wasn't he? I mean, he did the. Was it the pig who did the ceremony in the Owl and the Pussycat?
No, it was a turkey.
Oh, it was a turkey. Yeah, it's right on the hill. Yeah. It was a turkey. Perhaps the turkey could be a minister and a counsellor. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, comment.
I think that's what happened. In the older days, where a person from a religious background is the one to talk to these kinds of things, to
a mediator.
Troubling marriages. So it could be the turkey in this case.
Yeah, and that would be introducing another character from the poem. But that's that's going to run and run. That's good. You see, you just said something. It's amazing, isn't it? How your brain just sort of kicks in with all this sort of what ifs when you mention it. But that's a good idea. Run with it. I want to see that one in some sort of form. I want to see it. So I want to be on the writing panel for that one. That'd be quite cool. Anyway, if everyone's been tuning in and wondering where Gareth is, he's gone on his jollies to Wales. I don't know actually why he's in Wales, but presumably going to see the clan. But we wish him all the best, and hopefully he'll be back soon. In some RATMA news, we have in the next not this Monday, next Monday, we have lined up our much loved and looked forward to interview with Gemma Rogers, the producer from The Railway Children, returns. And that'll be a pre-record, which we will be putting out there hopefully the following Friday. So that's something to look forward to. We've got a few more guests lined up for the next few sessions, so we will be posting those on Facebook. Keep an eye on that. In other news, Flixie went on her first date the other day, and it was brilliant. She had drove around. We drove around in her as I was a chauffeur, as in SHOW, chauffeur, for a couple of hours while a very lovely couple celebrated a birthday in the back, watching the film of their choice, and it was all really good. And so we've got another couple of bookings on now, and hopefully it's all going to kick off. So if you want to drive around in the back of Flixie and watch a film of your choice, or even just have it sat on your drive watching the film of your choice, just let us know and we'll see what we can do. And go onto the Facebook page and message me. Anyway, I think that's great. I think that's enough for now, and I would look forward to seeing these projects going. You need to get off now and go and do them now. I mean it. You just I think this Owl and the Pussycat thing, I want to see that before the other one now. No, I don't know. I want them both. I want them both by this time next year. Well, no, by October next year, we want to see those. So,
well, if I do make those films within the year, you'll have the difficult decision of which one to choose, you know,
No,
to be
no,
selected.
they're both in, mate. Both in. Just get them on. Get them on. We'll make room. I want to see them. But yeah, I know these things take ages. Then the animations are a labor of love. I've always said that. I think of all the genre, that's probably. I mean, it's the easiest as far as locations are concerned because you make them yourself. But as far as the workload is concerned, it's a lonely and long task, isn't it? So I admire all animators for that. I think we've said it before; they're the unsung heroes of filmmaking. But yeah, stick with it. We'll be really looking forward to that, won't we, LJ? I quite like Mr Copycat particularly. I think that's tickled my fancy. That has. So
well, there's actually, now that you brought that character up again, the friend of mine I previously mentioned, he also made his own batch of Mr. Men Little Miss characters, and immediately after I came up with the idea of turning Mr. Copycat into a film, I asked him if there's a Little Miss character that I would like to turn into a film, and there was one that I chose, and thankfully this particular character was his favorite too out of the batch, and that is Little Miss Sugar Rush.
So hyper excitable every now and again.
Yes, and very consumable in sugar.
Little Miss Sugar Rush, love it. That could be a marriage made in heaven or hell. What is he going to take her with him to Paris?
I know she's her own separate project. Now I'll be doing Mr. Copycat first, and then I'll move on to Miss Sugar Rush.
Wow, you come out with them, don't you? I love being in your mind for a little while. I couldn't live there.
Well, that's his character,
yeah.
Miss Sugar Rush, and I'm Team Copycat.
Team Copycat. Well, like I said, I wouldn't mind being in your head for 10 minutes, but I could never live there. It's way too noisy in there. But a lot of things going on. Anyhow, we will see you. Do you know what I've realized? I haven't got the outro. Sorry, I'll cut it in. It's all right, don't matter. I'll cut it in. I'll edit this. I'll edit
just hit the intro again.
I'll edit that bit out as well. And that bit.
Can just go in a bloopers folder.
That'd be way too big. We've only got a limited amount of storage on the cloud. Our bloopers folder would that's essentially just it, isn't it? It's just the show on lots of different days doing exactly the same thing wrong every time. Anyhow, I'll cut that bit out as well, and that bit.
And that bit.
You see the pause went on too long. I'll have to do that bit as well, yeah. So I'm just going to do the outro. Hold on. Let's have a, where is it? Share my screen. And my sound. Do the sound, why don't you do the sound automatic? Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do the outro better. What are you doing? Where are you sat on your bed?
Yeah.
I thought that was a very flexible office chair you were sat on. I've got a lovely little fire going off in the background now. The heat's just coming off it, but I'll share my hold on. I'm going to